a double XI.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
That's right, you tell them, little buddy. What's up, family? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Positive Power, Double XI Christian Media. You're listening to The Late Show. That's right, late night with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide and Kelly Holland out of Charm City. We hope everybody having a beautiful, beautiful day. Thursday just came so fast. We're about to celebrate a no-name holiday this Monday. That's going to be interesting. I want to hear Kelly take on that. What's up, Kelly Holland? What's going on?
Hey, Batman. Hey, Baltimore. How's everybody? I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah. Look, I want to get your take on the no-name holiday. Is it still no name?
Okay.
What's your take?
Yes. We ain't doing nothing for these folks. What you want to call it?
Call it our holiday. How about that? Our holiday.
Man. I like that.
I wanted to ask you a question about something, but this may not be the platform. It could get somebody in trouble. I'm going to have to talk to you another day. Some interesting information I got from somebody. You know how people, when they're deathbed, they just start telling you everything? You know, like stuff they've been withholding for seem like thousands of years. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Okay. Yeah, you're going to like this one.
You got some information that's supposed to go to the grave? Oh, I'm interested.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a real interesting one. It's so interesting. I forgot who actually told me this. I gotta sit back and think. Who did I talk to yesterday? So anyway, so did you had a good week?
Absolutely. The Lord was mighty and had all power throughout my week, and I'm grateful for that because, we don't get our Sunday sanctuary dose. I got to catch it online and try to hold on to that for the rest of the week, but discipleship started back up. So classes within ministries are starting up, and so I'm glad to have that connection, that sister connection, and growing in God with our discipleship lessons.
Yeah, that's right. So is it working for you, doing the online thing? 'Cause I know a lot of people getting a little, restless, but then you have some people taking everything they can find. I'm texting people, see how they doing. They say, "Oh, I can't talk now. I'm taking a class." I'm like, "What you taking a class in?" It's like everybody back in college or something. It's interesting. People stepping up. Yeah, learning new things. Well, I guess it's about time sometime for people to learn some new tricks. Because I know for me, YouTube has always been my go-to. You can rewind it, you can watch as often as you want, but it is interesting sometimes to hear some of the the mainstream people giving up information. Because I know I think this was the week that I believe LL Cool J was sponsoring an event about advertising. And I think it started on the 5th. I think I sent everybody a link to a couple conferences that was going on. And everybody seemed to be embracing it too. I'm hoping it's going to be free soon on YouTube, so I'm just waiting it out. But I think
that'd be nice.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to tell some people who's out there who still don't have quite an understanding of marketing and advertising. Check out. P. Diddy did a real good piece. I think it came out last year called "A Revolt," and they was talking about the changes in the music industry and how independents can get their music out there, because everybody thinks it's a big secret how you get your music out there. And but basically the panel people was just saying you just got to grind and don't stop. How some people do things, don't see results, and they quit. Like for example, tell us a little bit about. I know we got a guest coming on, and I'm not even sure she's in the queue yet. Let me see, because I don't know everybody's name. Miss Jackie, is that you, Miss Jackie? Because I didn't want to go on my conversation and forget about her. I don't think that's her.
We won't forget.
Okay, I'm going to hit a promoter ad. Well, anyway, a lot of people still don't quite understand about marketing and advertising and promoting. And like you, I know you started your own nonprofit, and of course, when you have a nonprofit, it's like you got to get out in the community and knock on doors. Seem like it. What were some of the things that you had to do to get the word out to the community? What you're doing and what you're doing for them?
Definitely working with Positive Power XXI. That platform definitely helps out with getting the word out. However, it's all through social media right now. I'll either go through Facebook or I'll go through Instagram. But before even launching to that platform, I had to begin with creating the website, so having that hub for people to come to, so they're not looking in 5 different places for your work. They can come to your website and have access to you through social media or through whatever platforms you make available through them. So it's just kind of having that electronic component is a necessary component this day and age when it comes to starting any business or promoting any business or service.
Yeah, that's right. And you would start to see and hear if your name is getting out there. I mean, I know 2021 will make 7 years for us, that we've been in this business. So we're actually, I think we're actually coming up in our 7th. I got to add up. Thought that we got started in 2013. So I got to add the numbers up. But anyway, the deal is I know the first 5 years was going to be a lot of connecting and in moving pieces around, like what you start out with may not be the end result. So sometimes you may start out in something which is just the stepping stone to something even larger that God is going to bless you with. Like I had no idea I was going to be doing documentaries, and television was like the last thing on my list, because when my son was coming home from Morgan with these big old cameras and big lights that was super hot, and he had to write his own scripts and all that stuff and find people to help him. I was like, it's interesting, the movie industry and, film, but it's just too many moving pieces and it's expensive, and then the learning curve is like ridiculous. You're talking about like years. So, I mean, as much as I wanted to get into it, because I actually went to school for cable production, television production. I actually learned in Comcast production studio, editing and everything. But I was like, it's been a minute, and everything had changed so much, So when he was inviting me out to, do the sporting events, like he was filming stuff for ESPN, and he was doing music videos for some of the up and coming hip hop artists in Florida and them places. I was like, man, do I really want to even do that? I mean, you got to pack your stuff up. You got to travel now. You got to watch your stuff. You got to take it everywhere you go because it's not yours if it gets stolen. Because a lot of times we do rent a lot of the equipment because it was really, really expensive back then. So, when this happened, I was like really blown away that, where I'm at right now. You look back, turn around, look behind you, see where you came from. That was a long trip, Kelly. Yeah. So,
but look at the growth, and the mind change that occurred during that process. Avenues that you wasn't even interested in, now you're fully fledged involved, and that's just the power of God right there, because we have our own concept of success. Right. And then some of us get complacent. But we never really understand until we fully commit to his mission, where it is that God is leading us and taking us. And so we may start off with only 3 goals and end up with 30, just based off of the power that he's placed in us to do more, to do better, to do greater, to reach his people, to feed his sheep, and to be that role model. So I'm grateful that the transition occurred in me and for those that I'm connected with, because we're all just kind of improving within ourselves and helping others to jump on board. So I think it's magnetic to an extent, the way the growth is occurring. And that's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And what you just said kind of reminded me a little bit what Dr. Eric Holmes said on his show. And I think he actually said this on a documentary that we aired over in Atlanta. He said something about the seeds, certain people is important for other people's success. So in other words, if I wasn't able just to get just close to where I am today, that means I wouldn't have made room for Kelly to be able to spread her wings. So in other words, 'cause you never know who's listening to this podcast. And next thing you know, you calling me saying, "Hey Jerry, I got a job on www so and so," and you're quitting your job. So those kind of things open up doors that some of it didn't realize it was for someone else too. Someone else's blessing. So that's incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where would I be without Positive Power Double XI? Y'all would never know. Kelly Holland of Charm City. You would never know.
Yeah.
And so many more, right? Where would Shay Sands be? Where would Dr. Eric Holmes be? Where would Paula G be? Where would Lakeisha Mosley be? Where would our talent be if we did not have that platform? If Jerry, that man, never went and got the education he received and bought into the system the way he did and elevated yourself the way you did, where would we be? We would not have any of this. So, you are like the spine at this point, right? For our little network. And we're just branching off as extensions of you and your work. That's truly all it is.
Right.
So where will we be without those stepping stones? Dr. Eric Holmes is completely right about that.
Yeah, and it was kind of spooky when I was listening to him say that, because we was here in studio shooting, because it's been a while since I shot an episode for Who I Am. All those other episodes people watching now, I shot. Man, it was like doing the Newsom Awards. I think the first one that I met, Dr. Kelly and Charles and all those guys. And I think it had been like 3-4 years ago when me and Jordan was first being introduced to film. We were still, learning the equipment, so that what we aired yesterday with Dr. Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins aired yesterday in Atlanta. And what he was saying, and someone actually said something on the post that they watched it, and he probably was really blown away because a lot of the stuff he talked about, I don't remember him saying it. Like this guy was actually in prison. This is the guy that's now the CEO of the Life Coaching School of Arkansas, right? This is the guy.
Okay.
Now he was in prison for selling drugs, but he was actually a really pretty good baseball player, but because he didn't go to school, he didn't get good grades, so he got kicked off the baseball team, which later on led him to spending different times in prison. But he got married when he was in prison. His second wife basically kind of helped him get him out of there because that was the reason why they allowed probation. So he got married, and I met her. Beautiful woman, beautiful children. His son is actually a superstar baseball player right now, smacking home runs over the fence and stuff. I saw a footage of him yesterday. But the way I'm going at, Dr. Jenkins, when he finally got himself together and then being mentored to on his job by this man. Now this guy, he holds 2 master's degrees, certified coaching school. He just certified Shay, just certified Dr. Holmes, and he had a number of people he had certified 2 years ago because they came here in our studio to learn about media. And he hosts an award show every year where he's giving people awards for their community services. So he's doing a whole lot. He's empowering his community. And people come as far as Atlanta to attend his event because his son was there, his oldest son, and he's actually a photographer, an excellent photographer. Matter of fact, very friendly, very polite young man, very humble guy. And me and Mo had a chance to go out there and do the red carpet event, and we was able to meet some people who've been here before. One girl is actually leading a charge in people getting themselves fit and loving themselves. She's always posting how positive the product she's using is helping her. And just, it's just, you're right. It's just planting so many seeds, like Dr. Holmes was saying. It's like planting apple seed in your backyard, and it may not bear no fruit for you, but for the next person that buy his house, it could be bearing the best apples they probably ever had in their life, So it's an interesting journey. Very interesting.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that our paths cross on purpose, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now I guess she hasn't arrived. I haven't heard from the promoter, so I guess it's you and I for right now.
Okay, Batman. Well, let's get to it. Because we can go on and on. And
That's right.
now we have our chance to go on and on.
That's right. But some
what did
people.
you-
I was
Go
gonna.
ahead.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the other thing because that's something we're gonna have to talk about that offline. that's crazy.
I keep trying to bring it up. Like, so what you want to say? Like,
I know. It just came to mind because I thought we was going to just talk for a short time, and I just want to put that in your ear real quick. But talking
Okay.
about a lot of us been talking about the shift. I was actually texting back and forth with Coach Gene, and Coach Gene had a show on today about people who had to almost give up their life for their family member to survive. And she was one. Her husband had to sacrifice everything because she had a 1% chance of living. Just almost 1 year ago, a little over a year ago. She was being flown in a helicopter, and they told him, "We don't think she's going to make this flight." It was like that. So,
Wow.
Right. So now she's on this show, bringing powerful people from the medical community that could be saving somebody every time she air because she's giving enough information to provoke fear. And you saying, you know what? I'm not really doing anything positive to my body right now, but destroying it. And now that we have COVID, you're just making it easy for COVID to take you out. That's what she's saying every time she air her show.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
Okay. Go ahead.
That kind of takes my attention in a different direction. Shout out to 45 having COVID.
No, that's crazy. His own kind of COVID. I don't know what COVID he talking about. Maybe he had it in his pocket.
I know I ain't right. Look, he's so indignant with it, though. He's just like, yeah, I got COVID, but I'm cured. And everybody else got to wait 14 days, be quarantined in all these unfamiliar places. But his ridiculous tale. He's like, yeah,
2
I got
days.
the shot. I'm all fine. I'm
2
good.
days. Yeah, 2 days. Yeah. Well,
Right.
I know as much as I like to entertain that subject, I'm not even going to go online with that one. But all I can say for people, you got to really be careful what you hear out there. I mean, right now, Coach Jean, if you guys ever want to go back and listen to her segment, even today, even though her segment was about two members of, two separate family members that had to care for people who that was on their, on their dying bed, living with cancer. Because one lady, her son had sickle cell. He got in sickle cell, I think. Well,
Right.
That's the blood disease, right?
Heart disease.
No, maybe it was
Yes, it
leukemia. My bad, was leukemia. He got leukemia. That's the cancer, right?
The cancer.
Yeah, in the blood. And he got it when he was 7 years old. And she said she had to give up her life because, they said it takes 5 years. I think she said 3 to 5 years to heal a person from that cancer because there's so much medication, so much treatment. And she had to totally sacrifice her life, which she felt like, wow, I like my life. But she had to do that for her son so he can be able to live. So she had to do that routine every day and I believe she said 5 years. That's a lot. That's hard when you're handling a person. Is a lot. How about this? How about you just taking care of an older family member that's in their 90s that the doctor gave them 2 weeks to live? Imagine how hard that is. And they say they can live past 2 weeks, but it's 2 weeks became 3 months. But you got to change their diaper.
It's hard. All of that, right?
It is.
But it is hard. So right now I help my mom take care of my grandfather, and albeit I don't do the portion she does, it's not balanced at all. Okay, but when I do help, we enjoy that time together. But let's just say, let's change it around and make it into a special needs child. If you have a special needs child, these things they may seem hard and a burden, but they are such a joy to do, to be with your child, regardless of their handicap. And so, to me, I think when people are passing, it has to be in perspective. Older people, to some extent, I'm not as, harsh, or I won't say raw with the emotion, because it's kind of like, well, they lived a good life.
Right, yeah.
They've been here for a while. They were sick for a minute. I'm kind of mentally prepared, right?
Yeah.
To an extent. To an extent, because if anything happened to my Mr. Charlie, that's my granddaddy, I know I'm going to be a wreck, because we hang out, we was together today for hours, and so when you have that bond with people, death is just difficult to deal with anyway. And then when you fighting for their life, and you right there in the hospital with them, and you see what they're going through, and you're answering questions, and then you got to bring them home and care for them. It's difficult, especially if they're on the downside of that slope. I experienced something like that recently this year, where my dad passed away. He was in the hospital in February for a while, and I'm fighting with the doctors and all that, trying to make him stay, and they keep trying to send him home, and they got their way. He came home, and a few months later, he passed away. What would I have done differently if they let him stay, or how would I have been able to keep his life longer? I think about these type of things, so I definitely understand the sacrifice. Sometimes we jump in head first, because it's like, I don't care what needs to be done, I'm willing to do it. If anything was to happen to any member in your household, Batman, I'm sure none of this radio stuff has priority. You're going to definitely be there for your family. Facts, right?
Oh yeah.
It's not even a decision.
Right.
And so, but for 5 years, that's definitely a decision. She could have got an in-home nurse. She could have put that person in hospice. She could have did anything with that type of time, So to sit there and to constantly love, to constantly give, to constantly be available for somebody, that's a gift from God, because that's a choice that has to be made. And so for some people it's burden, for some people it's a joy. So I'm not really sure if time changes that commitment or not. Maybe it's a relationship. Who knows?
Yeah. Yes. Thinking about the fact that you thinking about somebody, you're trying to make their last final days as comfortable as possible, and spending time with them. And a lot of people won't have that blessing to be able to say goodbye to a loved one. Some people are going to just get a phone call. So it's like so past.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it right then and there.
Right. So that's hard too. Sometimes none of it's easy, because, you remember last year we was here, helping my wife with her dad, cause he went a lot longer than we thought he was going to go. Well, at least the doctor said, cause I guess when you give them love and you're nurturing them and you're there every day, they kind of get that extra strength in them some kind of way, and able to make it.
Praise God.
Yeah. So, life is, especially now, this is the time now where people have to, and sometimes you want, it was God really trying to communicate with us, because we all have so much toxin in us. We taking in toxin, we breathing in toxin, we drinking toxin. It's like God has really built us to handle some stuff, So didn't he? Yeah.
Aren't we resilient?
Yeah. Yeah. You figure that is, and then, that's some serious stress on your body. And then you have to handle the everyday, day-to-day things, whether you got kids or, like you said, a special needs child, if you decide to let your kids have a pet, you got to worry about that. It's,
oh God.
Yeah. It's a lot of
walking the dog.
Yeah. It's like how much man. Yeah. Like for me, it was a challenge just getting the dog. My wife was like, well, we had a dog before, and it takes a lot of responsibility, and the kid's just not going to do it. It's going to be one of us doing it. And I had, and then once I looked at the fact that I was already chronically sick anyway, and I needed some help to get out of bed and to exercise, the dog really wasn't a bad idea. Because she definitely gonna wake you up. Yeah, she motivates. She get you out of bed. She will not. You just can't say, "Oh, give me 10 minutes." She don't know what that means. She gonna sit there and look at you, and if you don't get up, she gonna bark. Because she ready to eat, she ready to go out and take care of her business. So really, I tell people all the time. I said, I think, because I go to the doctor all the time. Whether it's patient first or my endocrinologist, and they will all say, "Man, you do not look like somebody who lived with your type of diabetes." Because they see the patient, you can see him coming. Oh yeah, he got it. Type 2, type 5. He got 1 through 5.
Sugar.
Yeah, he got that sugar. He smell like sugar. You get that fruity flavor. That's the truth, though. They get a fruity flavor. Yeah, I kid you not. People with diabetes, they have a fruity flavor in them. Yeah, you can read that. Look that up. Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because it stays in the bloodstreams in the whole body. When you got levels up to 300, 400, you pure sugar. You're pure sugar. So yeah.
Cane.
So that's when even let me tell you, I was looking up a lot of different things when it came to fasting, because everybody kept saying to get close to God, you got to fast. And, they always say, well, diabetics can't really fast. But then when you start finding out that fasting don't always have to be sun up to sundown. It could be 2 hours.
Intermediate.
Right. And I was looking that up. And I found this doctor, and he was a young doctor too. And he was saying that a lot of his colleagues that was his age that went through school during the time period, so they starting to feel like they're not helping their patients. They're not looking at it for the money, because they owe more than they're making to the their student loans. So money don't mean nothing to them.
University, right?
So they're like really concerned that the medication is not really helping their patient. It's just keeping them alive, but they're not living.
Absolutely.
What kind of lifestyle they say? They're not living a what is it? What's that word? We just say they're not living a comfortable lifestyle because they're in pain. They live day to day, and then they not helping themselves because they craving everything that's bad for them. So he's this. I'm listening to him on you. This is on YouTube. This guy's just going on. He's just feeling so guilty about his profession and what he's not doing for his patients. So he started studying alternative medicine. And then I found it was more. It wasn't just him. It was a bunch of them that was like that. They were what do they call them? Internalists, and they started understanding alternative medicine. Studying how vitamins and herbs and minerals work. And then you found out that most of the medication contains some of those items, but some other stuff too. Right?
Absolutely. Right. We just don't know how to make it ourselves.
Yeah, but that was right. But that was one of the things he was saying in the medical school. They only really get an hour on nutrition, so they really have to send you to somebody to really tell you how you need to eat. But my doctor, my endocrinologist, he was a very intelligent man. He used to tell me, he said, Jerry, a whole lot of anything is bad for you, even water.
I know, right?
Even water.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
He said, try to live off of water. Yeah, try to live off of water. See what happens. Become toxic. So I was like, wow, Doc, that's interesting.
You're going to lose a whole lot of weight.
Yeah. So you know what he said? And this is what he said. And this is for anybody that's out there. He said, hold up your hand. He said, your meal, he said, I don't care how many meals you have, it's supposed to be able to fit in your hand. In other words, an apple used to be a meal. That's what he was telling me. I said, really? Yeah.
At that time, if we do a lot more grazing and a lot less heavy meals, those 3 meals, we would be in a much better shape. Our metabolism would burn a lot faster. We wouldn't be dumping food in our system the way we do now. We just kind of dump. We get the itis. We take a nap. Everything's slow. We just repeat that cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I can relate.
Because we stretch our stomach because and I heard this on a podcast with Dr. Jean. That one of the doctors said that people don't realize when you drink carbonated beverages, it just expands your stomach. So now you're just making it bigger.
It does.
And bigger.
It does, especially when people do mineral water instead of, spring water or flat water. That's good. The mineral water, the Pellegrinios or the brands of that nature, it's good for a good belch, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not good for everyday usage. So you keep
Exactly.
those like a ginger ale. That's your non-sweet ginger ale when you need to get that, that gas out your chest. But it's not meant for everyday uses. Just like you said, it'll expand your stomach, give you a false sense of fullness, and you might even dehydrate yourself because you're not drinking that pure source of water. And I only say this because I recently had a family member go into the hospital for dehydration, and he said, "Well, I'm always drinking water." No, you're always drinking that carbonated water. That's the difference.
Yeah. The sparkling water and add lemon in there or get it with lime. Right. You need some real water. Because I remember my doctor said, "You drink water?" And people say, "Yeah, I drink coffee." He's like, "Nope, it's not going to do it."
Water.
You got to have some real
unchanged water, unmodified water. No sugar packets, no flavor aids. The water.
And what I found fascinating too is, listening to some of these professionals, it's like we really don't. Nobody never really taught us about our body. They gave you that quick science in school. And basically you're just trying to memorize enough so you can pass the test and the multiple choice and connect the dots and stuff like that. But the human anatomy, it's actually a story being told the way the body is designed. If you ever get a chance to go out to YouTube and you look up the endocrine system, they have these really great 3D systems and show you how the bloodstream is used to carry nutrition and different hormones to different parts of the body. Because what I didn't realize this, and I learned this because of some idiots that I was dealing with. When you, I'm being nice about that too. They know who I'm talking about. I know they're listening. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for the niceness. This the deal about people who are diabetic, and this is what people don't realize. And I even thought this, because I was wondering what was going on with one of my buddies, because he was a very sharp guy. This guy. He can do everything. If I named him, you probably say, "Wow, is he single?" But anyway, he's actually not. Well, he's not around anymore to even you just know his name. So anyway, this guy used to say some crazy stuff, and I was like, "Where's he getting this stuff from?" What happened was when that glucose hang around in the blood system for a really long time, it's not doing anything. It's not becoming anything, so you have energy. So basically what happened, all your main organs are being deprived. So in other words, you need those right, but the hormones do special things to, like, your brain. Your brain has to have nutrition. So that's one of the first things that get deprived that a lot of people don't realize is your brain. So how people always say, "Yeah, make sure you get a good meal so you can do well on your tests." That's why they say that, because right. Exactly. So
they're just not concerned about your stomach growling. They want you to think.
Right. You can't think. You can't think. Right. Because what happens is that brain is the first thing to get deprived of energy. And it just it wants to shut down. You're getting sleepy. You just want to close your eyes, And that's what happens with diabetic. Right. It happens to them all the time. Their brain is getting deprived.
I'm happy that just people as a whole are becoming a lot more responsible for their health, what they eat. A lot more fitness activities have definitely been taking place throughout the whole COVID season, and so people are really they're really looking into what they're putting into their bodies a lot deeper. The microscopic lens is out, and I'm glad for it, because the meat industry is suffering, and it needs to, as well as the all of the former normal ways of eating has been modified to an extent, and I'm glad for it, because these places in America like to add stuff to our food all day long, and anytime. So I stopped buying chicken, right? Why? Because it's too expensive to get it without any additives,
right? Which
is ridiculous. If I'm already at the market, that means you butchered it. You caught it, you butchered it, you packaged it, and you made it available for me. That's where I go to the market for. I don't want to pick up a pack of chicken and it says 15% solution added. Solution of what? What are you trying to make me eat? You know what I mean? What
What the
is
chicken ate.
So, it's
Whatever
like,
the chicken ate, that's what you're going to
yeah,
eat.
all,
You are what you eat,
Chicken
right?
eat.
You are what you eat. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a great documentary on Netflix. I can never think of the name of
they
that
got a
one,
bunch
but
of 'em.
yeah, this one was
They got a
actually,
bunch of
but
'em.
this is one of the best ones I've ever seen. This one actually made me give up red meat and chicken, cold turkey. And you can ask my wife; she be trying to force me to eat chicken. I was like, well, I'm just gonna go to the freezer and grab some frozen fish real quick. But this is the deal. It's a guy. It was a guy. He was an MMA fighter or UFC fighter, and he had I think he was in his 40s, and he got an injury training on both knees. I think it was his ligaments. So he wanted to find a way to speed up the recovery, because he know at his age it's going to be slow, and he only had enough time to get healed up and train for his fight. So he was studying everything. He was contacting people who were older than their competitors, and he wanted to find out what were they doing differently than they did years ago, which was really interesting, because he was talking to these people, this guy that ran straight for days. I think he did one of those run around the world type events, and then he talked to this woman who beat some people that were like 10 years younger than her, and I think in a 100-meter race or something, a bicyclist, anybody that was older than the competitors, he wanted to talk to them. He talking about champions. So he ended up meeting the woman who was preparing the meals for the Tennessee Titans. Because remember, the Tennessee Titans in the playoffs. Yeah, this was a really interesting documentary. I mean, this guy was everywhere. This woman, she was a culinary specialist, but she specialized in vegan meals. And her husband was an NFL football player for the Tennessee Titans, right? So what happened was during practice, remember the Titans weren't doing all that well midway through the season, right?
No, they weren't.
And what happened was this one guy started showing phenomenal abilities, and people were starting to notice on the team, like, dude, what are you doing? Are you on steroids? He said, no, man, I changed my diet. My wife is cooking for me now, and, all 3 meals and blah, blah, blah. So some of the guys said, look, man, I want some of that, man. So they was like, buying the packages from it too. Next thing you know, was up to, I think, 12 players on the team took on this new diet plan. And that's when the Tennessee Titans were beating teams that they shouldn't have beat. Remember, they beat the Ravens really bad. They should have beat the Chiefs. I think they got railroaded on that one. But they was like, the guy said that their bodies were able to heal really, really fast after the game. Normally they got to sit in ice. And then he said he could play a game the next day. And, you normally can't do that playing football. You need a day or two off.
All that, they beating you up.
Right. All that inflammation.
That contact sport is serious.
Right. The body's, full of inflammation, is already inflamed anyway, but they got muscles packed on top of it. But this guy, and he's not a spring chicken either compared to, because he was in the league for a while. So anyway, he ended up convincing a lot of the players to do that. And even some of the players on the Ravens have done that, because remember, they got beat by this team. Marlon Humphrey, that guy just got a big multi-million 5-year deal worth, I think, $80 million or something like that. And he has shown remarkable skill sets this year. This dude is like running up on players, knocking the ball away. I mean, he caused all these forced fumbles. He's like all over the field. He's tackling. He's rushing the quarterback. He's covering tight ends. This is unheard of what he's been doing. The Ravens didn't stop. Now 1 minute and said, oh, we're going to pay him right now. They gave him an extension before the third game of the season. You never hear about that. That never happens. So they must be seeing some stuff in practice and everything that's caused him to say, wait a minute, we got to keep him. And he's been on Twitter talking how sometimes he was struggling with with the vegan diet. This was like, during COVID, he had died. He had tried it, I think, last year during the Pro Bowl, but he slipped up. When they went over to play the Pro Bowl in Florida, he slipped up, but he went back to it. So it got to be something to that, the way the body performs.
Man.
Yeah.
I was craving some bacon today. I smelled that bacon in the air. I
don't go nowhere near.
Good Lord, it's been a minute.
Yes, I don't go nowhere near, Kelly. I know.
Window down.
I
I
feel
took
you.
a deep breath back, man.
I feel you, Kelly. But guess what I did, Kelly? But you know what? Since I replaced it, red meat and chicken with seafood and tuna. I mean, my wife, we both know the best places to get
you
grilled
gotta watch
shrimp.
your seafood though.
Yeah, but we don't overindulge in it though. It's not a lot of it. You know, we do very little. Not like we make a
Let me
meal.
ask you, how often do you have a meat component with your dinner? Like, that's the thing that people have to get through their heads. You do not always have to have a quote-unquote square meal. You can eat all the sides and be just fine.
Yeah, well, the deal is what people don't realize is meat is a secondary protein, and that's what I learned in that film. The animals are not really giving you the protein. You remember, cows are grass-fed animals, so you're really getting the protein from what they're eating. It's the grass. The grass. The feed. Their feed is the primary, and that's the problem with most of the meat now because the animals are not grass-fed. A lot of them are eating corn, so you're not really getting protein no more.
Yeah.
That's the problem, and that's why they're sick. You know, and that's why they're shooting them up so they can look healthy.
Absolutely sick.
Right, they're shooting them up with
that's where
antibodies.
The pharmaceutical company makes their money off of the animals. You think they're making big money off of us? No, it's those patients that don't talk back that are getting these injections. That's what I was going to ask you about the seafood, because I've been noticing, and also from these Netflix documentaries, that the seafood is being injected. The shrimp are being injected. We want everything bigger, right?
Right.
So everything is being injected with these solutions. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I don't want to eat it.
This is the deal with me when it comes to shrimp. If it looks super, like super shrimp, I won't bother that one. Won't go back there again. We do a lot of salmon, but mostly we do the wild. We don't do the farm because you see how they farm them up. It's like 1,000 million of them living in one pond.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if they're in a pond, like a real pond or a lake raised, then it's different, you know. But if they have them like in a like an incubator type situation, and it's on the package too. If you look real closely, they have to reveal that. Yep. So you got to be careful with that, and you can tell the difference too because the ones that come out of the farms, they're huge. It's like, wow, was that a salmon? Give me that. You know, it look like a steak.
Why is it so big?
Yeah,
exactly.
So the frozen joints,
chicken,
that's why I usually don't buy the fresh ones because I know where they're coming from. I usually buy the frozen ones because they are coming from probably Canada and, you know, where there's a lot of lakes and stuff like that, you know, rivers. Yep. So you gotta do your research. Also, you get a lot of your protein from beans. Beans is an excellent source.
I love beans.
Black beans. We do a lot of tacos now.
Beans,
fix it up.
Beans.
Yeah, make it creative.
So do you have your tacos with beans?
With beans?
Do you eat your tacos with just beans? Because sometimes I'll even go to Taco Bell and I'll get it with just potatoes. No meat. There's a lot of places that you can use an alternative source and they will gladly give it to you. It's already on their menu.
Yeah, we do. We do the brown rice and the cheese and the tomatoes and lettuce and, you know, they hook it up for, you know, the fajita. I'm big on fajitas. I love fajita. I even actually go to Royce and they have, they have a smaller market section, but everything stays fresh and it comes from local farmers. It's already packaged and ready. All you got to do is chop it up. Even Twitter. What's that place? It's called Twitter. What's that restaurant, that new market called? Is it called Twitter?
Paris Peter.
Yeah. We go, they have fajitas and stuff already chopped up is in the refrigerated section. And what I do, I actually chop it up and put it in with my eggs because I eat mostly my protein. Being diabetic, you know, eggs is really better for us to start our day with. And I put the fajitas in there, which is vegetables, a lot of green peppers, yellow, a lot of onions. I love fried onions.
It's so good.
You know, fried rice makes everything taste good.
And I love scrambled vegetables.
Yeah. And especially, like I said, fried rice tastes really good. You get some flavored olive oil and, you know, you can add so much flavor to your stuff, you know, and then put some melons on the side, you know. Once you're done, you just eat your cantaloupe, your melons, your watermelon, and you feel refreshed, you know. And of course, the supplements is important too. I do a lot of fish oil. That came a long way. There used to be a real rough supplement to take years ago. It used to make you burp for days. It tastes like fish. That's way better now. Do a lot of fish oil. Of course, your elderberry, and there's some couple other things that have minerals in it that we need. A lot of people don't realize too that to help your electrolytes for your body to stay charged, you have to have your pH balance stay at a certain level. So you need your electrolytes in those kind of waters that have that in it. And I think that water, they come from rivers, a lot of that water. So you gotta have certain minerals to balance, keep yourself balanced. So that's why multivitamin is important. But we're finding out that a lot of times you got to be careful with the store-bought joints. You need to go to like a real nutritional store where it's like owned by somebody, because they're real particular about what they put on the shelf. It's not like grocery store type products. So I go to a store. There's only 2 of them in Maryland, and everything has like white labels on. There's no particular brands. They don't spend no money on branding. Yeah. So that's the deal.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So you want to?
Well, our health and wellness segment was impromptu today, but definitely helpful, and I hope our listeners are grateful for this advice that we provided them today.
Yes. And I'm telling you, you're going to have some bad days. I know my wife; she really been feeling this. I've been trying to get her exercise for years. How long I know her? Since the doggone 90s, and she been seeing results of walking. And she just wants to go out there 2 and 3 times a day. We were already doing 5 miles. I can't do more than 5 miles. I'm not going to be able to make it to this day. I couldn't even cut the grass today. Yeah, I told her I burn up energy. I burn up energy really, really fast, being diabetic. Your body don't operate like a normal person. People got to realize that. I don't produce that much insulin. So what I do produce, it only can carry me a certain amount of time. When you're doing physical stuff.
You got to hold on to that stuff.
You got to pace your day. Yeah, you got to pace your day. You got to pace your day.
But you've been really like reversing your ailments, and so shout out to Batman for taking the holistic way to keep his body safe and healthy for his family, right? Because the family's going to need you, sir. We can't have Batman not being available.
That's right. When you down for the count, we down for the count. But I want to tell people this too. There's some more studies coming out. My nurse practitioner even told me this too. Some studies coming out now. They're finding out that weightlifting, resistant training, builds muscles, and the muscles actually releases a hormone that actually eats up the glucose that's in your bloodstream. So in other words, it's using it to build muscle. So that means it won't hang around in your bloodstream, making you more sick and destroying your kidney, because that's what all the pressure is on your kidney. And then eventually your pancreas is going to be overworked, because, that's where all your insulin is being produced. So anybody out there, try those 25-day challenges, doing push-ups and lifting barbells while you're watching TV. Every time a commercial come on, lift the weights. That's what I do when I'm watching football. Every time a commercial come on, I'm lifting. So, find a challenge for yourself. Get some friends. We gotta work on our bodies, y'all. Got to work on our bodies.
Absolutely.
All right.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, Kelly Holland, I appreciate hanging out with you tonight. And when we get a chance, we will have that conversation. You probably heard about that yourself, but it's interesting. Anyway,
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. Any final words?
Sure,
any final words for our listeners?
Yes. Final words for the listeners. Don't forget to check out my website, kelly-holland.com, for any platforms or any media or anything that you want to know about me. It's on my website, kelly-holland.com. Also, if you didn't hear anything today, make sure that you listen to this one thing. Never forget to tap back into your unspeakable joy. That's all I got for you, Baltimore. That's all I got for you, Charm City.
I'll take it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate all the inboxes, whether you're on WhatsApp, and all the other DMs. I appreciate you guys. A lot of encouragement to keep doing what we're doing, Kelly. So we appreciate you, people. All right, I'm Jerry Royce Live Worldwide, a.k.a. the Batman of Charm City. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. All right. Peace out.
Good night.
Can you feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power. A double X.
Positive Power 21.
podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live, worldwide.